Am I the a-hole for breaking up after he demanded his family move in and I'd cover the costs? I'm 40F at a point in my career where I've been able to accomplish some things very fast, and some took a long time. I'm very grateful and ready for my new chapter, which includes relocation and a slower pace. I'm in the process of ending a relationship with Jason, 39M, since I recently concluded that I can't be with him. I've given him lots of opportunities, and I feel depleted and tired. It's come to a point where I get tense merely hearing his voice. We are engaged, and we have also overcome many bad moments in our relationship. I was extremely busy, and now that I have the opportunity to find myself a bit, I just don't want to get married. He comes from a family with trauma. His parents had a very bad and long divorce, and their children got pulled into it. Maybe I shouldn't talk like this, but all of their kids are struggling, including my fiancé. I've tried to ignore this, but I'm ashamed of him. His sister has a cosmetology certificate, but refuses to get a job because she needs to be a stay-at-home mom, yet is always angry at her ex because his child support isn't enough. His two brothers are musicians. One works at a hotel and sends his baby mama home to her parents as soon as she gets pregnant, and the other one lives a man-child life. Both brothers-in-law spend long nights playing with bands but never get paid, so they frequently have problems at their real jobs for tardiness. Jason and I had issues early on because he kept switching jobs and complaining. We reached a stable stage in our relationship until we got engaged. I don't feel like I'm his priority. Everything always needs to go to his family. Every plan and every potential progress is always about giving to his family. When I got an opportunity to develop a food truck park, he immediately tried to bring his mother into it so that she could get a food stand to help her. If I get a hospitality client, he immediately asks if his brothers can get hired. Not only that, but also tries to create opportunities for them to get involved with whatever I'm doing and start a business that would drain my clients. Of course, I never allow it. He doesn't understand that this has cost me a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to achieve, and that I'm not okay just handing it over. For background, I have access to both medium-sized and small companies, and I got my first global client last year. When my career began to really pick up, Jason and I got engaged, and I felt comfortable sharing my progress. By the holiday season last year, I had a very complicated situation. I needed to complete a deadline, but had already bought tickets for my kids to fly to see my parents. Jason confirmed that he would go with me whenever I was ready, so I didn't book a flight as he would drive us. I flew my kids, came back, worked hard, and was both anxious and worried. I kept open communication with the client, delivered by the 22nd, but needed to wait for their approval, which included a visit to their location. They are manufacturers, so I was basically on call. It was approved, but Jason went MIA. It was too late to get a flight, but when he replied to give him a couple of hours, I was relieved, thinking that we would leave soon. He stalled and made me wait until I started crying due to anxiety. I ended up driving myself while exhausted on Christmas Eve, which is exactly what I didn't want. I had to stop at a motel to sleep a few hours and then get on, spending Christmas forcing myself to stay awake to be present for my family. I nearly broke up with him over this, especially when he said he didn't leave early because his mother got emotional. Fast forward, and I've gotten good contracts. Clients have been referring other clients, and I finally stabilized my schedule and have been hiring more people. I was super excited to share my progress with him. I got a very good opportunity to move closer to my family and to work for a very large company for very good money. The minute that I told him, he started with the family business subject. He wanted me to hire a company that he would create. I am firmly opposed to this. That's a company only in name. He wanted to tap into anything that can be done. His words. He has been very insistent, but dropped it because we had a huge fight. He's been very enthusiastic about moving. He has a job prospect and would earn a better salary. Last month, we found a rental property and we're discussing our plans. I need a home office and bedrooms for my kids. He mentioned that he needed a spare room for guests. I immediately had a bad feeling, and he said he wanted his family to stay over until they found their own jobs. He said the family room could be converted into another extra bedroom. I could picture myself dealing with his family and being unable to evict them. I tried to talk to him, but he said it's what he wants, and he has a right to bring his family, and said, period, which sounded so one-sided that it made me rethink the whole matter. I mean, who's going to pay for all this? I asked if he planned on doing all this on my dime, and he started throwing things. I sat him down for a serious conversation, and his reasoning is that family helps family. True in my case because we are very close, but they don't use me as their personal raft. I was very blunt and as honest as I could be. I don't want his family living with us, and he knows that. I will not agree to financially support anyone, especially after he's made plans to spend my new money, but hasn't asked me if I agree or even if I plan on helping my own family. He has never asked if my family needs anything. It's all about him. He has made plans to get his family inside our new home without offering a potential deadline and has dropped hints about wanting a new car. I was sincere about slowly losing my respect for him because his ways have made me feel like he has no respect for my my sacrifices and everything I went through to get to this point. It wasn't him getting sleep deprived and being constantly on the line to get things done. The conversation went nowhere because he grabbed his backpack and went out. A few days later, he told me that he got fired and sent me the memo that he received, which clearly stated it was because of insubordination. There is so much to unpack about this. From being a possible poor example to my kids to being a weak man who won't be able to support our family should I be unable to. I can't. I told him that I wanted to break up, and he said embarrassing things. He said he thought he'd finally found the love of his life, but said he was dissatisfied with me because I was taking away all of his dreams. The entire situation was cringe because he held on to the steering wheel and started rocking back and forth. He accused me of being a snob now that I'm rich. I'm not rich, but I hope my opportunities keep opening up so that I can build my wealth. I told him the problem was right there. He's asking to stay together but won't work on himself. I gathered all of his belongings and asked him to come pick them up, but he refused. So I had to drive to his mom's house. And once there, she confronted me. She said that I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing by playing a goody two-shoes, moron, stupid in their family slang, and secretly working to rip the family apart. She mentioned very personal things that I know I didn't share with her, and it made me so mad that I called her and all of her children losers. He keeps sending me information on couples therapy, but I just don't want it. He won't remove his car from my garage, and he won't take his gym equipment, which is too heavy. He says he would have done it, but because I called him a loser, he's not removing anything because I disrespected his mom. So, am I the a-hole for breaking up after he demanded his family move in and I'd cover the costs?